Hello and welcome to the Kind of Athletic podcast. This is episode 20. 20, not straight weeks,
Close.
We're 21 weeks out of...
21 total.
What are we? We're 20 weeks out of 21, or 21 episodes out of 21 weeks.
I was backpacking,
Yeah,
know.
we took a week off.
I had some important stuff to do.
It was time for a week off. But we're back again for another week.
Yep.
This week it seems like...
Whether or not you like it or not.
Oh, okay, wow. I just feels like this week there's getting there's a lot like last week it seemed kind of dead. I know we talked for a long time about
There wasn't like that much going on.
but we just had some interesting topics to talk about.
But now we're starting to start some things.
Yeah, so obviously football is
Great
back.
sentence.
The NCAA college football has started.
Yep.
We'll go over that briefly. We probably won't cover that super in depth each week. We'll probably talk about maybe some upsets.
I'm sure Kellen will talk about WSU.
We'll talk about the COUGS every week.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about the UW if they lose, so we probably won't talk about them this week.
It's okay. They dominated this week.
They did not dominate. We will talk about that because they did not dominate.
They didn't.
We'll talk about baseball as always. Mariners update. It looks like it might be
Dunzo.
We'll see. NFL, there's not really a lot going on. We will cover it though, and then we're going to go over the Pro Bowl defense that we had. We had two. Now you have me thrown off because Sam's trying to get me to do something. Defense. We have two linemen, two linebackers, two corners, and two safeties for each side. And then we're actually going to have a friend in, Phil. He's one of our good friends from NASCAR. He's kind of the NASCAR encyclopedia sometimes, I feel like.
A little bit.
We're going to get him on. I know the playoffs are starting, so we're going to try to dive into that. Me and Sam know a little bit from working there, but Phil makes us look really dumb.
Pretty much.
So anyway, we'll get started with some football.
We'll
just go over the NCAA first. How about that?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I'll let you cover WSU, so I won't talk about that. But,
sure. Go ahead and talk about whatever.
UW, they did win 35-3. They did play Weber State, so it's not like
they wasn't
won.
A good game.
So no,
they looked so. I was shocked because first off, I didn't realize they were on the Big Ten Network, which is annoying because now you have to pay for it.
Yep.
But their first half they looked not good. I was not impressed. Their second half, they looked better. But again, I'm trying to compare them, I guess, to last year's team, which was like
the best offense
ever.
Yeah.
And I
they were
hate saying
insane.
that, but they are.
They were very, very talented.
They were so good. So I think they just came off to a slow start.
Yeah, I agree with you.
But I also am not surprised because I think, in my opinion,
there's also a lot of change too.
Yeah, there's a whole new quarterback, whole new system, whatever. I said, I think going into the year against, so my stepdad's a Minnesota fan, so Big Ten guy.
Yeah.
I said that the UW would get bottom 4. And again, that's not because I just don't like them. They're in the Big Ten, big conference.
Yeah.
They're a good team. They're not a great team.
Yeah.
I mean, they were up 14-0 at half, and it really never looked like they should be up 14-0.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I think the interesting thing, I don't know. I feel like this is going to play a big deal. What'd you say?
Will Rogers. He looked not great.
Yeah, I think it'll be their travel. Now that they have to travel so much, I feel like we'll see how that plays out.
Well, that'll be interesting, because you have next week, they go to Eastern Michigan. So they start the season 4 games at home, which is dumb, in my opinion. Eastern Michigan comes here. Obviously, then there's the Apple Cup, which is, for you people who don't know, the Apple Cup is Wazoo or Washington State, Washington. Washington's dominated it forever. It's what it is. It's fine. It's not fine, but it is what it is. It's a neutral site in Seattle. Now, if you don't know where both schools are located, UW is located in Seattle, and
to call it a neutral site, that's so dumb.
And Washington State is located basically in Idaho, so it's about 4 hours away.
Nice.
So it's not really a home game, but there will be a lot of Coug fans there. The population of
CenturyLink or
Lumen Field. So the population of the state is in the King County, Seattle area. So there's going to be a lot of Cougs there. I will be at the game. I'm going from there to a Mariners game, so the ultimate day of depression will be upon me.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The Cougs,
they could pull it out. You never know.
Hey, their offense looked really good. Yeah. Everyone will have the UW favorite, which is fine. Whatever. Who cares? They always are. It's what it is. We put up 70 points again. Portland State's horrible, but I don't know. I don't know about horrible. Portland State's had some good years in the past, but yes, they are definitely a tier or two lower than where the Cougs should be. But putting 70 on any Division I team,
So.
And you gave up 30 points. Everyone's like, it's 30 points, you guys, blah blah. And I'm like, but you guys have to realize that whatever. The Cougs defense gave up 17 in the first half.
They definitely weren't playing their starters towards the end.
The fourth quarter touchdown was, I think, second and third stringers, freshman, sophomore.
Yeah.
The other, I believe it was another touchdown in the third, was not a lot. The offense cooked in the first half. They went 3 and out, fell apart. They looked terrible. The defense literally gave up a touchdown. I was going, oh my gosh, we're not going to lose to Portland State, guys. And then we just kicked it into gear, put up 22 in the first, 27 in the second, 14, and then backups came in. Texas Tech next week for the Cougs. I don't know. Texas Tech was a weird one. They are coming to the Palouse. They're coming to Pullman, so they're coming here. They barely beat, let me see if I can make sure I can remember this one, Abilene Christian.
Sure.
By 1 point. Never heard of them.
Yeah, I have no idea.
So I don't know what that tells. I don't know if that tells you Abilene Christian's really good. God's on their side. They're kicking butt. Yeah. Or Texas is just not very good. Don't know. Otherwise, in the NCAA, there was a bunch. I'm just going to kind of go through games and what I said. Like I said, UW took a while to get going, but they finally did. Cam Ward, ex-Coug, looked really good against Florida, Miami.
Okay, yeah.
He looked super, super good. USC was probably the best Big Ten win to me.
I saw they beat LSU.
Yeah. Probably the most statement win. The Big Ten did not look like Oregon won by 10 to Idaho.
Yeah, that's
like U of I is good for I think it's like whatever the FCS.
Not
they're not a historically good anything. So that was like their big win. Then obviously, like Ohio State smoked Akron by like a million.
Well, what'd you
Michigan did not look so hot. Obviously, new coach, new system.
The new quarterback now too.
I don't even know who their quarterback is. Oregon didn't look amazing. Notre Dame had a big win over. They had a ranked team too, I think. I'm gonna blank on all these because I was just trying to go through them. But they had a good win.
Texas A&M.
A&M, yeah, that was right. Down to the 12th man. That was a good win for them. They the big upset obviously over the weekend was or the weekend before was Florida State, Georgia Tech. They're playing in the UK. I can't remember where their first game was, but I know it was not here. It was not in the United States.
I didn't know that.
Because it was like a preseason everything.
It's kind of cool.
It is cool, and a lot of people were like, "Oh my gosh, it was the Air Legis College Classic." It was in.
I've never even heard of that.
Where's the stadium? It was in Avia. Maybe that looks like Mexico or something. I don't know where that is. The Avia Arena. Look up AVIVA Stadium. AVIVA Stadium. And a lot of people were going. Where does it say?
What pulled up Cheney Stadium? That is not correct.
In Tacoma?
Yeah.
That is not where it is.
Here it is.
I think it's in Dublin. I want to say it was
Dublin, yeah.
So, both teams had to travel. So there's a lot of different, that's a big time change. But hey, Georgia Tech has to travel just as much as Florida State.
They still beat them.
Florida State obviously was the big undefeated team last year. Should have made the Final Four. Everyone thought didn't.
Jordan Travis, their quarterback.
I believe it's now.
Well, no, I meant last year.
Yeah, and now it's Unglevi Low or Ungle. It's the. I think it's the. I think he was at Oregon State. Went from Clemson to Oregon State back to DJ Unglevi. I don't know how to pronounce that. I want to say he was on Oregon State last year.
I do remember him.
He lost his job at Clemson. Went to Oregon State. Now this is his 5th year down at Florida State. Mm-hmm. So he was good for Oregon State. Everyone knew they were going to lose him after the Pac-12 all the teams decided to leave because they're money-hungering butt cheeks. But yeah, so not a lot going on. Obviously, like Sam said, I will definitely be talking about the Cougs each week as long as they win. If they lose, then probably won't want to talk about it. Talk about the UW. Our school is kind of up here.
Georgia is still number 1 on the AP.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Or they wasn't even it. That was I forgot to say that because that's not even funny. They played number 13 Clemson, and it wasn't even like I know the score was whatever 35 to. I don't even remember what it ended at 35 or 34 to 3.
Yeah,
it should have been 60 to 0. Like. I know it was 0-0 first quarter, but there is that second half. Georgia just dominated. It wasn't even close. It's 14 Clemson or whatever. But there was nothing that besides really Georgia Tech. Everything else kind of like USC winning was not shocking. LSU's got a new quarterback and everything. I know USC has Moss as their quarterback now.
Okay.
But a lot of the teams that were supposed to win won. Obviously, if you know Kellen, he will be cheering against every Big Ten team and Big 12 team that left the Pac-12, so I hope they all lose, and I think almost all of them won.
It's okay. Central's probably doing really good this year.
UCLA UCLA almost lost to Hawaii, which scares me because the Cougs had to play Hawaii. But anyway, an interesting opening week. I don't know what. I haven't even looked at the big schedule for next week. I could probably look at week 2. I think does week 2 technically start today?
I think it's week 1.
No, it still is week 1. I think
it was week 0 last week.
Yeah, that was the doubling game.
Week 1, but
whatever. I mean, are there any big? Go to week 2. Oh, this thing's freaking out. I don't know if there's any big game. Oh, there's a big game Saturday, September 7th, Texas at Michigan. 9-4 is a big one.
Arch Manning did play a couple of drives too. That was kind of cool. Quinn Ewers was.
Did he play a little bit?
Yeah, Quinn Ewers played 3 quarters, and I think Arch Manning played the last quarter.
Oh,
but they had a pretty decent win from what I looked at, so they had the ability to put Arch Manning in.
Oh, they don't have the top 25 because obviously it's not out yet. So there's some interesting games that look like they're on. I mean, that really was the big one. I'm just kind of scrolling down. I see that Oklahoma State has to play. Shout out to Keaton, of course.
I was gonna say
they play Arkansas.
Nice,
tough game. But there's not, from what I'm seeing, ranked wise teams. Nothing besides that Texas game. Alabama's play South Florida. What a bummer. That's a tough one.
Good luck.
That is another talking point. Obviously, Alabama won. DeBoer looked good in his first game out there. Tennessee, North Carolina State's a double-ranked game, but lower tier. Mm-hmm. But to me, it looks like, and Boise State plays Oregon. That's always a fun one up here. To me, it looks like there's a top 5, 6 schools that are just going to run away with it. This is what everyone wanted. They wanted the NIL. They wanted this. They wanted this. Now you're going to get 6 teams for the rest of your life. So have fun with that. That's my opinion on it. If it sounds really negative, I don't really care. I think that's what it is. Yeah. It's really sad. So we will get out of there. Kind of a fun week. Again, it kind of feels like preseason hindsight. Obviously, there are some upsets, but it just feels like preseason. A lot of teams are still going to kind of be feeling themselves out.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to the Kind of Athletic podcast. Be sure to follow us on all of our socials and come back next week for next week's episodes.